Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're well. My name is Wanyiha if we haven't met, and it is a pleasure to be speaking with you guys. And as the title suggests, today we are talking about, discussions that we should have in the family. And this is mostly directed to the parents and just, telling them that, ask your children, okay? Ask your children, even your grown children, yeah, who are married and just doing their thing, ask them, yeah. And sometimes, uh we talk with our children when they come to report about their marriages, when they make observations about this and that, when they talk about the homes in which they're married. And sometimes we judge them by how we know them, and we never ask them, about their growing up, yeah, and ask, what did they experience, what did they go through, you know did they experience good or bad things in other people's hands? Because it's very clear that we haven't done that, yeah. And I know for sure that the people who tried, yeah, communicating to their parents that they had gone through some rough things were actually because they were dealing with parents who were under, different circumstances, yeah. So maybe some parents responded, positively, and were able to help you through some things you could have gone through that were very negative and affected you in a negative manner. Some were not prepared, yeah, they did not know how to deal with such situations. And because of that, yeah, because of the result, of what could have happened, because of the results you got out of speaking to an unprepared parent, you end up very jaded and feeling like you're, even in worse circumstance than you thought, yeah. But because parents are out there, learning, children are out there, some parents, some children will just encounter some things and come and report it at home, some will not, okay. So maybe you have the knowledge of things that have happened to your children, or maybe you don't, okay. But this is a video to the parents, and I want you to take an initiative, okay, and just approach your children with this, okay. Even the married children, okay, your sons that are married, your daughters that are married, um if you do get a chance, could you talk to them about things that they could have gone through, and not just assume that, or maybe those things happen to them because of their nature, yeah, or who they are, because that means you're judging them and you think that they should have done better when you actually did not, yeah. Your children could have gotten very hurt or even damaged, yeah, during the time that you are raising them, okay. But now you need to come to an understanding, you need to come, to some sort of healing, okay, together, and find peace to continue. Some of the reasons why your children are not able to cope is because of the trauma they may have endured, and you ignored that because you thought all you needed to do was grow, okay. If something happened to you, it is out of myself, yeah. But this child will continually hold you, responsible, whether consciously or unconsciously, okay. Every time that they feel they've failed in life, and it's often when children do not succeed in life that they will come, with all these issues, yeah. Most kids who succeed actually go ahead to get help, or they just ignore it, yeah. They just let it recess somewhere in their minds or in their beings, yeah. I don't know where these things are hidden, especially for these kids who seem to cope, okay. Now, some people seem to cope, but it's actually their spouses who get the rough end of things. Yeah, they're the ones who come into contact with this very broken person. They're the ones who see this person when they're not able to cope, when they're not able to even raise their children. And you see, a lot of times people say that men look for a good wife for them and a good nurturer for their kids. Yeah, not knowing for some they will end up being the main nurturers, yeah, or the main service givers, yeah. And so when we are wanting to cope with these things, we will go into things like learning each other's love languages, and not knowing that in all this, yeah, you will unearth some ugly truths that you will peg to the nature of this person. You will think, oh, you're bad or you're good, because that is how we've been looking at things, yeah, and not realizing that this person has trauma until when you come face to face with your own trauma, okay. it's been my experience. I know it's different for every family, but it's been my experience that men really do not even think about their trauma. They just keep going, yeah, especially if they have a thing that they're pursuing, yeah. And that should tell you one thing: it's very important for somebody to have a mission in life, a goal, something that they're looking forward to. But without the correct foundation, they will fall to the systems that were set in place or not set in place for them. Okay, so this is for the parents, or old or young. You've gone through so many things, and maybe you're looking to God for another breakthrough or to settle you personally, and you're hoping that your children will go out there and thrive, not knowing, what time it is, what is happening in the world and in the spiritual realm, what is happening with your children and what they could be, facing out there. And it's not everybody that actually blames their circumstances, especially when growing, to what challenges they are meeting, okay? But once in a while, we see this coming up, yeah, especially when people are awakened to some truth, yeah? So whatever a child is exposed to will give them, knowledge on what was happening in their lives. And some would use it as an excuse as to why they did not, succeed, yeah? But you as a parent know or understand exactly how much, you gave to this child, how much support you gave them, what circumstances this child went through. Some people don't actually know. Maybe they were just not even there, yeah, as the children were growing up. But it's not too late, because one thing each parent needs to understand is that your children really love and care about you. They needed you even then. They needed, so nurturing, and perhaps you've never even thought of what you needed, so you may not understand what your children need, yeah. But it's time to have a conversation, because the potter wants to build you, back again, or the potter wants to make a new vessel out of you, okay? So you've been operating one way, but because God wants you to do better, yeah, even you want to do better with your life. You want better relationships with your children. You want better relationship with your grandchildren, okay? Because sometimes people carry so much trauma and they dump it into the next generation and the generation after that. You're just looking for who can help me, yeah, who can understand me. And more often than not, your grandchildren may understand you, yeah, and you end up dumping so much trauma as opposed to elevating this child, yeah, because they're supposed to come and find you strong or stronger, yeah, or able or have the awareness to actually open up and work, together with them, yeah. It's so funny that I don't feel like I have a cold, but whenever I'm talking, I feel like I'm clogging up. And I have noticed other other YouTubers as well, yeah, other teachers especially will clog up when talking. I don't know whether it's because they're talking. I don't know, I don't understand what that is, yeah, but I've been noticing it a lot. It's like people are not able to just pass the message without clogging up. And I just hope it's not a spiritual thing. I've not investigated it, but I've noticed it often, yeah. So you can tell this person doesn't actually have a flu, or homa, as we say, cold, yeah, but they end up clogging up, yeah, and that is quite strange, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I this is a call to the parents. And a while ago we were looking at the families, from Abraham to perhaps Jacob, yeah, and we see how he did with his family, because it was really highlighted. We see Esau's nation as a strong nation, yeah, even when God says, I will pull down everything that you build because I do not love you. Esau I did not love, you find that story in Malachi 1. And the Israelites are always like, you don't love us, we keep falling, we keep failing. And he says, I can prove that I have loved you, yeah, because compared to the nation of Esau, I have supported you. I have kept raising you. You go into exile, you build and fall, everything just falls, to because of your sin and your idol worship, and all these things that you do. But I keep lifting you up, yeah, and we are all witnesses of what God keeps doing. But Esau, whenever he builds, I bring him down. Okay, so Esau has good system; they get to build, but everything is, brought down by God, because He said you know, that he's not in support of this guy, yeah, even since he was born. And we see such circumstances, and we see other people who don't even regard God, but they keep growing, you know. And that is why we can't even compare ourselves, because there's a reason why we are who we are, and why we are on the path that we are, and why sometimes if we don't know what is affecting us, we can just, you know, we can lose our lives just like that, yeah. But just for the sake of peace, and for the sake of, you know, unity, of healing your family, it is important to know that your children, because some parents don't know, your children hold you in high regard, yeah. Some people do not have that natural authority even in their home, so they feel like every time I say something in this home, nobody listens, you know, nobody hears me, nobody sees me, you know, I'm not able to connect with these people. And you think that they do not know you, or they do not hear what you're saying, yeah. You feel like they only react to the negative, okay. And that is just a false representation of what your family is like, yeah. That, you know, clearly indicates that, you know, there's been some manipulation there, yeah. So a lot of parents, dear children, you may not know this, but a lot of parents do not feel like they have the authority, you know. And along the way they even lose confidence of talking to you guys. And as you increase, they cower, you know. They are also like, they use the little authority they have to have you help them, yeah, whether it is in their businesses, you know, whatever they're doing in life, even managing the home, they will want you to do that, yeah. And they will be thinking, you know, children have to be raised this way, you have to be, you know, taught how to manage a home, yeah. But this person, this parent is not managing their home, so you don't even end up getting a good example. All you get is just seeing all this, you know, uh just an angry parent, yeah, somebody who is not actually managing, somebody who is not doing, but they're talking about it, yeah. Somebody perhaps, you know, and you know, some parents don't even have to be in the house, but they could be winning out there, they could have a great career, you know. And you see that, you see them operating like that, and you want that, like you have something to emulate, yeah. And sometimes it's even your parents and your grandparents, okay. So different, you know, different strokes for different folks. But I need you to just sit your children down and ask them, you know, what they've encountered growing up, because some kids went through abuse and now they cannot even run their own homes. Some kids have trauma, you know, and that is why you see them reacting a certain way, okay, even to your grandkids, yeah. So when you see these things in operation, just know that there's something wrong. And if you could just look back and think about the times that your children opened up to you, and maybe you reacted in a way to shut them down because you didn't want to face what they're about to say, but now they're older, and you know, you feel a bit icky about approaching such things, you know. It may be difficult, but the only way is by opening up, yeah. Money haiji ila kwa ncha ya upanga. That means there cannot be peace without a battle, without having gone through the battle, you know. Or a wound also can only be treated by opening it up, okay, and dressing it, okay. So you have to take it upon yourself before, you know, your days end. You know, you have to call your children and have a talk with them, okay. And this, it's best to do with the child, yeah, with each child, or with the child, children together, okay, and just pursue healing. Some may not even be ready to talk about it, but you, since you've come into this truth, and you know, you don't want to have this history where your children's lives get wasted because they couldn't cope with, you know, the result of their childhood, yeah. They couldn't cope after growing up, you know, how they did, yeah. You have to admit that even though you couldn't give them a better life, they must have gone through some things that you need to address and talk about, and sometimes they just need healing from your mouth, okay. So words, I know that words heal. And when your children open up, and sometimes even your spouses, yes, your spouses sometimes are rolling a certain way. I've seen people who, especially from my community, who never want to have discussions, yeah. They're always acting so busy, you know. They'd rather hang out with the boys, especially men, instead of, you know, talking openly with you. And even when they're not hanging out with the boys or going out there, they do not want to discuss anything in the house. Perhaps they just want to watch TV, you know, just occupy themselves with other things. Whenever you bring up, you know, a topic that, you know, to address the issues they may have. Sometimes they don't want to open up, yeah, but it's just so important, and it brings healing. Okay, so just start the dialogues. Yeah, it may not work in one day, but it will work. Yeah, sometimes you'll find that the damage is much more than you expected, and it's very important sometimes to even encourage, a person, whether it's the parent that will, you will end up seeing their pain, or the children who have, gone through much. You may end up, having to encourage them to see a counselor. You may have to walk with them that journey of counseling, or therapy, or, seeking spiritual healing, something that will just bring healing. If they cannot talk to you, you can ask who they don't want to talk to, and just help, facilitate that. Sometimes people say we don't have money for therapy, we don't have this and that, yeah, but just by sharing and allowing them to, to talk without reacting so much, yeah, because we also all need some emotional intelligence, and know that things are not, always about us. Just because a child is opening up doesn't mean that they're always blaming you. They're just giving you information of things they went through, and sometimes because of whatever they are facing now in their lives, or maybe they've reached a place where they have to reckon with everything they went through in order to go to the next level. This happens a lot, yeah, when people are fighting spiritual battles. They are fighting generational curses, and you can imagine, from what, I've shared and other people have shared, you can imagine that is not, an easy feat, yeah. If a child is rejected everywhere and they can't even come to you, yeah, granted, God will give them people that, will help them along the way, but should they ever share those experiences, that is not the time to gaslight, yeah. And if they do listen with open, with some openness, yeah, because your children will always come back to you, whether they have, succeeded out there or they have failed. They will come back to you and they will say something, yeah. So stay ready. When they do, don't always react the way you used to, so that you scare them into, submission, or into being quiet, not exposing those things, because those things are tearing them inside, yeah. They're damaging to them. So just be keen on that. Okay, it is, a very special time. A lot of people are waiting upon God, and God is coming through for them. I know you can see, I know you can tell the signs. I know some of you just know because you've ran out of your manna, yeah. The providence, the little providence you had, is all gone, and now you're like, so now what? Yeah, we are waiting upon you, Lord. You find that your dependency on God is, getting more and more, yeah. Some people are waiting, upon, to have open doors, yeah. Financial breakthroughs, they're waiting for jobs, to get into new jobs, miracle jobs. Some people are waiting to just understand, what God is doing in their lives, or they're waiting for, a major thing, uh breakthrough in their lives that they've been working towards, because things or doors open when you just arrive to them, yeah. You have to get there, and this is a lot of spiritual, being spiritually hauled to the place, yeah. So a lot of movement before you get to those doors, and before the swing open, yeah. So for you to even reach those doors that you're expecting to open, just know that God knows that you've done the work, yeah. And so He is willing, yeah. Jehovah is willing. So trust and believe. Do not lose your faith now. You've come so far, and now God is about to do something good for you, okay? Watch out for the destiny helpers He will bring. Maybe it is somebody you helped along the journey, and now they've remembered you, or they've succeeded, and now they're coming back with the spoils, yeah? So that could be what you're waiting for, okay? Because sometimes you push somebody, up, not because you were so great yourself or you were so able, but because God gave you something at that point to share with them, yeah. And some people are so special, they don't even forget the words you once ever said to them, yeah. Some people, can even be very hurt, by going through there, but they understand that you helped them in one way or another. Maybe they will remember and come back, yeah. Some people help you and you help them, yeah. But sometimes you help some people and you'll only get, that return from somebody else, yeah. So they say, is it, yeah, it's a Swahili saying that says, tenda wema, nenda zako. Just do something good and go on your merry way. Yeah, just forget about it. Forget that you did something good, because when you give good, good will come back. Yeah, when you give bad, it will come back. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And that is all of us. We've done some damage in one place or another. All we can do is repent for everything we are cognizant of doing. Yeah, is that how you say it? Cognizant or cognize? Yeah. So because yeah, you have done both good and evil. Yeah. So stay in repentance and just remember that God is watching and He will give you in accordance. Okay. So I'll see you on the next one. God bless you. God keep you. Make His face shine upon you and give you peace, because that is very important. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.